This is an example of how God will use anything in anybody. You know what I'm saying? Anything. And so I was listening to Lauryn Hill's album, and she's I think it's in Lost Ones. She raps that she's reading the 72nd Psalm. And so I think it's 72nd Psalm. And so I was like, yo, Lauryn Hill read the Bible, let me read it. And so I opened it up. And that's how I started reading the Bible.
Yeah, yeah. That's all you need to do. Yo, what's up? My name is Konata.
I'm Amanda, what up?
And you are now tuning in.
You are now rocking with the best.
You know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying?
At Our Small World Podcast. What's up? What's up? So we're going to jump right. We're going to jump right out the gate.
What's up?
Right out the gate.
Gosh.
What's your favorite movie?
Oh, come on, Love Jones. Love Jones. I gotta love Jones.
Why is that your favorite movie, man?
So because
it's like depressing.
It's not depressing. It's about love.
Is it?
It is about love.
The Notebook, which is your second, or
too.
I don't know, is it your second favorite? Top five. That's about love. Love Jones is not about love. Okay, explain.
It's about the wrong timing of love. Sometimes love can happen, but at the wrong time.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
That's all I got for you.
I'm thinking about that line in the movie where they're out and it's raining outside, and the girl's like, "Hey, it's raining," and he looks at her, and he says, "I can't say what he says." He says, "You scared of a little water?" You know what I'm saying? You know what he says.
You're not afraid to get a little wet tonight.
That's
what I'm saying? Because it was raining.
Because it was raining.
Yeah.
But I remember that line because I was watching it with you, and I was like, all right.
Smooth.
Okay. It's smooth. Tay Diggs. Well, not Tay Diggs. Lawrence Tate.
Yeah. Lorenz Tate.
Lawrence Tate.
So I like the soundtrack. Love the soundtrack of the movie.
Soundtrack is good.
I'm into poetry. A lot of people don't know that, but I love poetry. I've been into poetry for many of years, and so when that movie first came out, I was like, yes. I just like
that
the
got
vibe
me into
of it.
Poetry. Actually,
it reminded me of Philly a little bit. I mean, it's based in Chicago, but Philadelphia has that
vibe.
Soulful, poetic vibe. You know what I'm saying? So, what? Yeah. So I think all of it, and then it was about love, but it was just it was a tough relationship about love. It was just the timing of love.
Okay.
It was just off. They were both driven in careers, and
Okay. Ready? Favorite album of all time?
Come on,
we all know the answer to it.
Of Lauryn.
How do you rate Miss Education of Lauryn to what's the other one? The MTV one, Unplugged.
Ooh. I mean, I think Miss Education is a classic. It's number one for me. I think I think for like every female just felt like Lauryn just got into our diaries and just read and told our story. I just thought. And then too, I felt like we were getting a side of her that we didn't get from her being in the Fugees. The Unplugged album was, for me, it was dope because so this is true story, right? When I first got saved, I didn't really read the Bible like that. And so I was listening to Lauryn Hill's album. This is an example of how God will use anything in anybody. You know what I'm saying? Anything. And so I was listening to Lauryn Hill's album, and she's I think it's in Lost Ones. She raps that she's reading the 72nd Psalm. And so I think it's 72nd Psalm. And so I was like, yo, Lauryn Hill read the Bible, let me read it. And so I opened it up. And that's how I started reading the Bible, was actually that. And then as I started listening to her album with different ears, like she just had so many biblical references, it started helping me to understand the Bible a little bit more.
Okay.
And then fast forward, she did the Unplugged one. And I mean, she just took it to a whole nother level. Like so much of her biblical references. Now I know her, I don't feel like y'all getting up in my comments. Relax.
Right.
So many of her biblical references, I was just like, wow, it just expanded what, plus when I got to meet her and all that stuff, it just added to the the value of our conversations.
To the grandeur.
To the grandeur.
Yes, yes. Can you do one verse of hers? Can you do any portion of a verse?
I can do almost all of them. I will not though, because I don't feel like getting flagged.
Just do it. How you situation?
It leads to complication. No.
Okay. We'll leave that alone. Okay. What is your favorite type of food as far as genre of food?
Genre of food? Is that even my favorite type of food? I would probably say Puerto Rican.
Yeah? Your favorite?
Probably. I mean, I'm Puerto Rican. I love Spanish food. I just think Spanish food
I guess that may. Okay, let's second favorite
So
then.
my second would probably be Italian. Italian.
Yeah.
It's just filled with carbs, so I can't eat them like that no more. But yeah, probably Italian food. I really like Italian food.
Okay.
But I'm learning how to like switch it out with the veggie pasta and all that stuff. So I'm getting to enjoy it again.
All right, and you've just ventured into this new vegetarian thing. You think you want vegan. You don't want that. You don't want it with the vegans, okay? You want to stay vegetarian. That's what I'm telling you.
Okay.
But if you go into the vegan situation, well, you've been going into the vegetarian. So the question is, going into the vegetarian lifestyle, is there anything that you miss on the carnivore
I don't.
lifestyle? Come on, man. You don't miss a steak?
No. I think the only
Even when
thing.
it's from Wolfgang's?
Nah, the only
in
thing
New York?
is like, this is probably gonna sound silly, but probably Chick-fil-A chicken nuggets. And even though I think I would probably eat them, and they'd probably be the only thing that wouldn't hurt my stomach.
And you wouldn't feel no way
No, you
about
know why?
it.
Because they're holy.
Because they're holy.
They're holy.
They're
They're
bathed
blessed.
in holy water.
Holy water. They're cooked in holy water. Did y'all know that? Y'all didn't know that. I know that.
Okay, what is your fashion sense? What do you think if someone were to say, like, this is how Butta P, Amanda, how she expresses herself fashion-wise, what would they say? Or what do you think you would say about your own fashion?
Dope. I don't know. I think probably I would say probably like a tomboy chic.
Tomboy chic? Yeah, that's
tomboy
dope.
chic.
Yeah, nice watch. Tomboy chic.
Tomboy chic.
Chic. Okay. You know, one of the things about my wife here that I noticed when she moved to Florida, there wasn't a lot of girls that did this, and it was one of the most noticeable things is that she had this same situation. First time I met her or saw her, she had a hat on with her hair out on the side, and the females in Florida at the time, in South Florida specifically, didn't do that. So it was like, oh.
You was like, who is
snap.
shorty over
I
there?
said, who is that?
And I wore Tim's.
And
So
you
remember
wore
you
Tim's, Tim's on
that,
with the thing, you know. But, you know, some girls wore Tim's here.
They wasn't
But
rocking
not
for
with
real.
the
They was probably
hat
not
and the
real
whole situation. Well, close enough. The look was there.
No, that
Maybe
doesn't
it's
count.
not Tim's, but the look
that doesn't count.
was there.
That doesn't
You
count.
know what I'm saying?
That doesn't count.
It doesn't count now, but back
No,
then.
it never has counted. And was it the single sole or the double sole? You know what I'm
gosh.
saying? Y'all know what I'm talking about.
What's
If y'all
it,
don't, y'all ain't even about this life. Get out of here.
All right, so next question for you.
Okay.
Adidas or Nike?
Ooh, these days Adidas.
Adidas over Nike?
These
Why?
days, yeah. I just think fashionable for me, they fit my style.
They do. You make Adidas look good, you know.
I do. They should give me a brand partnership. Soon.
Nice.
I like Nikes though
Adidas you
too.
got
Like,
on there. Are those Adidas?
yeah, they're the Yeezys. So I like
750s, right?
So I do like Nike though.
Flexing all the time, this one. You like Nike?
I do. I like Nike.
Why do you like Nike? You know why I like Nike. Why do you like Nike?
I just think some of this, it's just a classic.
You don't say. You don't say.
I should have worn mine.
It's all good.
So
Then we be matching,
then
and
we
then
be
that's a whole
matching.
nother conversation.
No, that's
You don't
cool.
like it.
See that I would have did that today.
You
Though.
did that?
Yeah, I
Okay.
would have. Yeah, I like the classic feel of Nike. I just like the trendy feel of Adidas. Like I know in 10 years I'm gonna look back. I'm like, that Adidas thing probably wasn't that dope. But you can always look back at some Nike stuff and like it's classic. So that's what I like about Nike stuff. I feel like it's like a good polo, right? Like a good. Like I love when I see a man in a polo, like like when you wear your polos, I'm like, yeah, because that's always a classic. Like you can wear it in high school, college, grown and
elderly.
Just, yeah,
anyone
it's
can wear a
just
polo. That's
yeah,
fresh.
it's classic.
And by
Classic
polo,
culture.
you mean polo, not chaps.
Not US
One time
polo,
she
chaps.
cracked on me with the chaps.
Izod.
Izod.
Your boy had an Izod shirt.
Oh my gosh! Nothing wrong with people that wear Izod.
Cool,
you know, you gotta wear what
not,
you could, what's in the budget. You know what I'm saying? You gotta make it look good.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? but Ralph Lauren polo.
Yes.
You know, and it actually got dope again to the next level when Kanye first came out.
Oh my God!
Because
absolutely.
he was going into the polo store. He's getting fitted. He was bringing, MTV Cribs and all these people into his whole situation, and he brought that back. And then he had the little blazer with everybody got into that blazer with t-shirts, blazers with polos and jeans and dunks on or whatever. All right, so we got your music prowess, your movie situation. What is going back to the movies or entertainment? What is a form of entertainment that you enjoy that most people wouldn't know you enjoy, or even a movie that people be like, "Really? She like that corny movie or whatever?"
I feel like you're gonna tell them for me.
No.
A movie.
Or anything.
I don't know. My top 5. So one of my top 5 movies is The Goonies. I can watch that. Eddie, you Goonie. Yo, I knew that movie verbatim. Asked my mom. I used to come home from school every day and pop the VHS tape in.
VHS.
That's how old I am. So one of my forms of entertainment that I like that people wouldn't know. I don't know if this is entertainment, but it's something I enjoy to do that I don't get to do often, because I don't have too many people around me that are willing to go with me, and I don't get it because we live in Florida and I live around water. Like, why are there not enough people around me that enjoy going in the water?
And what is that?
I like to go kayaking.
Kayaking.
I love kayaking. I do. I like going kayaking, and so not many people know that about me. People are just recently finding out, and every time I tell them, they're shocked, which throws me off because
actually yesterday we was watching Stunning Vacation Homes, because our whole thing now is we usually vacation in the same places, and we'll never not go to New York. That's just a place where we got to go every now and again, because New York is just New York. Brand new every time you go there. There's just a thing about it.
Is it really? No, it is. No, it is.
Okay, so, but there are places like Montana and Utah, and we've been to Alaska. That was dope. Got to go back. We've been to these places, but there's a lot of places we haven't been to, especially not to go vacation outside of doing any shows or rapping or doing any of that stuff, to go and spend time. And one of the things I was surprised about yesterday was we were watching this vacation spot, and it was in Montana, I believe. And all it included, it was fairly cheap. It was like a 6-bedroom situation. They cook for you and all this stuff. But the selling point for you was that you could horseback ride in over 70,000 acres. And you could do it whenever you wanted to.
Yes.
And you thought that was like
freedom.
Yes. And just dope.
Yes.
And then I turned to you and told you that I had never in my life been on a horse.
And I was like, how do I not know this about
and
you?
You didn't know that. Yeah.
How do I not know that you've never been horseback riding?
But in the same breath, how did I not know that a vacation would be solidified if there is 70,000 acres of land for you to horseback ride on?
Yes.
And then we saw another scene where these people set up a tent in Utah, and these Clydesdale horses just walked right up to him, and you got so excited.
Yes. Can you imagine though? Can you imagine like you're camping? Well, first of all, I'm not a big camper, so don't but would that look like being in an open field? You're in a van, you go to this open land, and these huge horses, wild horses out of nowhere just gallop up to you. That don't sound like magic.
You said wild, so that sounds scary to me. You know what I'm saying?
But horses are not like dangerous unless they feel. It's like any animal, right? Like if they feel, threatened or whatever. But a horse, it's a horse. Like you just, listen, it's beautiful. Listen, it talks in scripture that the Lord will come back. No, I'm joking.
Behold the pale horse that is in our midst. Listen, so we went to the farm show in Pennsylvania. I don't know if you remember. One time we went there, I seen the biggest
Clydesdale horse.
Biggest horse I've ever seen in my life. That thing was freaking huge. And it got a little restless in the thing.
Well, yeah, because it was stuck. It's like being in prison.
But it was huge. It wasn't even like normal size. It was the big. Again, it was gigantic. It was Jesus couldn't ride this horse. It was so big. But it was this big black horse, and it just looked terrifying. You know what I'm saying? And those horses are so. I mean, those animals are just so big. They've always intimidated me. There's scenes in John Wick where he's running away from people, and to get away from them, he slaps the horses on the butt. And the horse kicks and like is kicking people's heads in, caving their head in with the kick. So those kind of things. And even horse, you know, people that do horseback riding for a living, obviously those horses are turned up to, you know, get people off and do the bull riding, all that stuff. And they fling those people off of themselves, breaking backs. Isn't that how Superman got injured? Like the Christopher Reeves?
Guys.
So anyways.
Guys, he clearly watches too many movies.
I'm from New York. We ain't have no horses unless you went down to Central Park.
So are you telling me you don't want to go horseback
police
riding?
Officers? I'm down. I'm down for anything where there's adrenaline.
You need to be down because no one else around me is down for anything. So I'm dragging you to all my experiences.
I'm down. I love.
You don't think it's beautiful, like when you see a horse just running free,
I think it's
like their mane
Absolutely.
is just running. I just think it's one of those.
It's something I need to be a part of. Like I need to wrangle me a horse. You know what I'm saying? I need to put a saddle on that mug and sit on it and let it know who's the man. You know what I'm saying?
That's it.
I need to let it know who's
It'll
in
buck
charge,
you off.
you
You're
know
like,
what I'm saying?
oh!
Exactly.
No, it won't.
But once I feel that connectivity to a horse, like I hear about in the movies, because it's something it's therapeutic for prisoners, people with PTSD. They go and take care of these horses. We watched that thing about the Philly and that portion of Philadelphia where the stables
the
are.
horse stables in Philly. Yes.
So I know there's something majestic going on. Richard, when I do this, you gotta slow down my hands, make them things like Last Dragon. You know what I'm saying? Last Dragon. I just really dated myself.
Yes. So that is a vacation.
That
I'm
is a
like,
vacation.
yes, I would totally do that.
Give me one of your favorite childhood memories.
Oh man, favorite childhood memory? I don't know. That's so.
What's that park you used to go to? You told me the other day. One of my favorite childhood memories.
Yes. So we used to go to this park called Little Buffalo, and it was a state park. I didn't know any of this. I know now because I'm grown. But before it's a state park, and so we used to go out, like it was like Memorial Day weekend was the start of summer up north. Like if you guys are from up north in New York, Philly, you know, up past Georgia, I guess it's considered up north. Yeah, no. If you're not from here,
Yes.
Summer starts Memorial Day weekend, right? So like Little Buffalo, we would go, and I would be so excited, yo, and like my aunt or my mom would be like, all right, guys, we're going to Little Buffalo on Saturday. It would be like, yes. And just everything about getting ready, like we would wake up early, get our bathing suits on. I would hear my mom and my aunts in the kitchen, and they'd go to the grocery store and they'd buy these huge like loaves of bread, right? And like one loaf they would make a whole bunch of peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. Then the next loaf would be like ham and cheese and like, you know what I'm saying? And you know,
they put it back in the thing.
We have a lot of money, right? So you know,
But you didn't know.
I didn't know. I just that's living the dream.
What people do.
Like,
you got mad sandwiches on hand whenever you're ready.
That's genius. And now I do it.
Yeah.
And so I just remember that my aunt used to make this potato salad that she still to this day makes to this day. And so you know, I don't really eat like a lot of meat and stuff anymore like that. So even when I still go home, like my aunt makes that potato salad for me. And
yes,
so it's banging. So she would make the potato salad. And then, you know, we would drive to this pool. It was a pool. It was like this huge pool. Because, you know, where we grew up, like we didn't grow up with like pools in the house. And, you know, you have public pools. And then our public pools weren't like really the nicest pools. Like they were hood pools. Like you would go to the pool and like, you know, it's probably going to be a syringe or a diaper or something around there. And, you know, they were just packed, you know. But anyway, so we used to go to this pool. And so we used to leave early. You had to leave early so you can get a picnic table and like the grill joint, you know what I'm saying? And so I used to just love it, like the energy of it. We'd get there, the place was just packed. We'd pull up, And like my dad was there, and like my brother, like other men from like the church, and they would grill and stuff like that. And sometimes it would just be our family. Sometimes, you know, my parents would invite people from the church, or sometimes you just run into people there like that, you know, our friends and stuff from the neighborhood. And so it was just wonderful. Like, and you know, I never asked my mom for money because like we had enough food to eat, and we had some Middlesworth chips. It was just like, what else do you need? And yeah, we used to just go swimming into this pool, and then we'd come out of the pool and be just starving and go bang up one of the peanut butter jelly sandwich with the barbecue chips and like a quarter water, like the little huggy juices. Oh my God, it's like like right now I'm like, damn, I want to do that. Yeah, like there. So my kids, I wanted them to experience this, and so like they get excited now when they're told that we're going to Little Buffalo, and it's like, yes, you know, that's one of my memories that, you know. It's a beautiful thing. It's
beautiful.
Yeah.
You remember growing up, like there are just certain smells that are synonymous with growing up.
Yeah.
What are some of those smells?
This is gonna be weird, but in the springtime when I used to walk to school or like to the bus or whatever, I used to smell Lucky Charms. Like Lucky Charms reminds me of baseball season for me.
And you were big, so we're gonna transition right into there. I'm interviewing you. This is great. So you baseball.
Yes.
How big? When did you start playing baseball?
When I was 5 years old.
5 years old. And was it something that you immediately had a knack with?
Yes.
Yeah.
I started at T-ball and I just loved it. So I played all the way up till 10th grade. Like baseball.
Yeah. Fast
pitch baseball. I was the
throwing
only girl.
The ball.
Yeah.
Hard at you, curveballs,
yeah,
balls,
and
all this stuff.
I was a pitcher.
And you were a pitcher too?
Yeah, I was a pitcher.
How much? What? You were a pitcher? I didn't know.
I was a pitcher. I was pitcher, third base, and shortstop. I was dope with it too.
So what happened in 10th grade?
They found I had boobs. They were like, you can't play with the boys
Found
anymore.
out you were a female.
Yeah, not that they found out. Just, you know.
You wasn't hiding it, right?
I wasn't hiding it. Yeah, I really wanted to play baseball, and when I got to high school, they wouldn't let us try out. It was myself and it was another young lady.
And you both wanted to try out.
And we both wanted to try out, and so, you know, it was just, I was really into baseball. Like I knew I wanted to go to college for baseball. Like this is what I wanted to do for the rest of my life. Yeah. Like I knew I wanted to be the first female in the major leagues. Like that was my goal. Like anytime the Phillies were on TV, I would watch them play. Atlanta Braves was my other favorite team, so I would watch them play. I was really big. My brother was a Yankees fan, of course. I was a Phillies fan, so we used to watch. But just when I got older, it just, you know, there just started being some roadblocks that I started hitting that I wasn't allowed to play. And so, you know, we had some stuff with the school that we had to try to figure out. They wouldn't let us play, so we were made to play softball. And so I played softball, and I didn't enjoy it as much. It just didn't feel the same. The team was trash. You know, it's just a different dynamic. You know, I didn't enjoy playing with females. Like it was just different. And so finally I was just like, nah, I'm gonna. And then at the time, you know, when I got to middle school, I started playing basketball and running track. So thankfully I had other sports. So, but yeah, I let go of softball, and it was sad because I was actually getting recruited. I could have went to school with a full ride for softball, but I knew I wasn't gonna enjoy it when I got to college. So I just, yeah.
And you knew your parents had set you up, so you didn't have to.
Actually, no, that's not even
you
it.
Didn't know.
Because even when I got to college, they, you know, I went to go meet the softball team, and I did a workout with them. Yeah, and I knew that wasn't for you, girl. It was just different.
So then you switched over to basketball?
I switched over to basketball.
Right. Something I take pride in. Like when I'm playing basketball, I was like, yo, I play basketball. Do your son play basketball? No, he doesn't play basketball. He loves soccer. I said, but maybe it's a good thing because I played basketball. My wife played basketball. And I'm always able to say the extra step. So tell us how you changed from softball. Obviously, you was getting into basketball. So did you play basketball while you were playing softball?
Yeah, I played basketball. I started in middle school.
Oh, you played basketball in middle school?
Yeah.
Like there's a middle school basketball team?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Well, I started in elementary, but in middle school was like my first like official team. And so this was the thing. In baseball, I was just naturally really good. Like I was really good. And basketball, it wasn't that I wasn't good. I was just really short.
Yeah. So
like, and you know, we've talked about this, like, you know, when you short, it's like, oh, I got something to prove. And I'll never forget my cousin. We were playing basketball at the park by my house. My cousin Julio, and you know, he was bigger than me, big bull. And so I'm trying to go up for a shot. He kept smacking my shot, and I was getting he was like, "You're garbage. You're never gonna play basketball." And I was like, "What? You know how good I am?" And that was the day I said, "I'm gonna prove to him that I can play basketball." And that's
what catapulted
That's what.
you.
Yeah, I was like, I'm gonna be dope at basketball.
Nice.
And so I started working out extra, and I just knew, like, being short, I was gonna have to work harder, and so I did. I got to the gym early. I stayed late. I worked on my 3-point shot. I always had to work harder at it. And then in high school, when I was a freshman, I played on the freshman team, and then I got bumped up. So I was hype because I was like, yes, I'm doing it. Then when I finally made it to varsity, I was so on one. I was like, yo, I'm finally starting. I'm about to kill it this year. And then we got an exchange student from Germany.
Oh, yeah, you told me. She was lights out.
Yo, she was lights freaking out. And I was upset because I had worked all summer long, and I just knew it. Like, because I had already had my starting spot. So I was like, bet. I was going into my, I think, junior year.
What position were you?
I was point guard. So I was point guard and shooting guard. Well, I was point guard, but I really wanted to be shooting guard. And so my coach was like, well, in order to be a shooting guard, like, you got to be able to.
You put in the work.
And I was like, I can shoot. He was like, all right, shoot 10 shots right now. And I was like, shot like 60%. He's like, I need you at like 90. And I was like, what? So that's when I started working on my 3-point shot. I was killing it. Came back the next season like, this is on. I'm about to be shooting guard, starting. And then this girl, she was an exchange student from Germany, and she came to our first workout. Yo, she shot the ball from half court. Swoosh. I was like, I was lucky, yo. We started doing these drills, and every 3 she shot up, it was like water. And I was like, not even rim. I was like, yo, what in the world? And then one day I felt like she was trying to like flex on me. And you know the movie Love and Basketball, when she shoots the shot and then she leaves her wrist in the air? She did that. And then she looked at me. I was like, I was like, yo, her shot was wet. And so she took the spot. She took shooting guard spot. So I was still point guard, but I wanted the shooting guard position. But I didn't get it, yo. But
you didn't get it.
She was, we won many, but we did go to the championship. So shout out to Bianca.
Oh, that was her name, Bianca?
Her name's Bianca, yeah.
Nice.
So that's actually how I learned that what you want is the team is more important than what you want. Because I really wanted that shooting guard spot. And I kept going to the coach, and he's like, I think you're just better at point guard. I was like, she can be point guard. But my handles were ill because I had worked for years on it. So I just had to learn, like, stay in your lane. Just your handles are dope. I was great at stealing the ball. I just wanted a shot. And then my senior year in high school, it was one of the championship games. And I remember I hit like 4 or 5 threes in a row. You couldn't tell me nothing. It's like, that's all I needed in my life.
And she was on your team.
Yeah, she was on my team.
And you were still hitting those
threes.
Yeah.
So but we went to the championship. Yeah.
Nice.
Our team was ill.
Nice. That's dope.
Yeah, and then I hung up my sneakers when I got to college because I was like, I gotta.
How long did you last when you went to college?
Not long.
Did
I got to college and
no,
it was just different. It was just a different schedule. Like, when they tell you that college owns you, they do. Like, it's just a constant working out, waking up early, going to do this. I started with intramurals, doing that, and it was just like, yeah, no, this is not for me. I just wanted something new in my life, so I just quit.
I love you.
Love you too.
Let me get your foot. Put your foot right here.
No.
Put your foot right here.
Why?
Put it here, man. Put it here. I'm trying to tie your shoelace. I can't have you looking crazy in these streets. While I do this, I'm going to ask you a question. You mentioned that when you went to college, the schedule, what you said, just going right to the point, you said college owns you. Recently, NCAA has agreed to let student athletes get paid based off of their likeness. They can social media, brand partnerships, the whole deal. Why do you think that's so important? Especially, well, you can talk about regular athletes, then especially for female athletes. Why is that a big deal?
I think it's a big deal all around for college athletes. We've had.
You've said
I've said this for years.
I remember I didn't agree with it at first because I was like, well, they are paying you. They're paying for your education and la da da. But as I've matured, because that's the fantasy that you're told, and that's what you see in these movies and all these things, that this is what happens. But as I've been told by meeting student athletes and now just educating myself, there's so much that is in demand of you.
Yeah.
There's so much money that the school is making as a result
Absolutely.
of your sweat. They're making money off of your shirts. You know, when I bought my first, I have it in the song No Devils. I bought a jersey. I think it was a Georgetown jersey. Yeah, it was a Georgetown jersey. The number on the jersey was synonymous to the best player that was playing at that time. So they didn't just have a number on there for no reason.
Yeah.
So that's why I bought the jersey, and that's why the North Carolina jersey was next to it with the same thing. You know, it was Grant Hill's number that was on there. But they know this.
Yeah.
And that's what they're making droves, billions of dollars on to pay for your little, you know, $80,000 education.
Yeah.
When they're making, you know, 10, 12, 20 million off of one player.
They can pay all those kids' tuitions in 2 games.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've been saying this for years. I think you know, student athletes, like, yeah, you're giving them a free education, but the demand that you're putting on those students, it's so hard for them to even concentrate on school. Like, they're constantly working out, they're constantly traveling, like, and if they don't perform on the court, they lose their scholarship. So people, you know, are quick to be like, oh, well, at least they're getting a free ride. But for me, I think that's so unfair because, you know, these kids are, let's just say they're guaranteed going to play 4 years, right? Let's say they're coming from an area that is not, you know, they're not coming from a well area, you know what I'm saying? Like financially, like this kid is the family hope, like, you know. And what if year 3 this kid tears his ACL? Now his hoop dreams are done. The school has now made millions off this kid. His career's over, and he has to finish school, and that's all his family got. And I just always thought that was unfair.
If he can finish.
If he can
he came
finish
from a very impoverished situation, and he might not be able to pay for his education.
Yeah.
And hopefully he can get a loan, if he can get a loan.
Yeah. And so I've always just thought that was just unfair that these schools make millions off these kids. And so I've always thought this, that if you've got these star players, I don't think necessarily that you need to pay them out all this money. I think they should be given an allowance. Like, yes, you get your education, but I feel like they should be paid an allowance. Like, this is how much you'll get paid per week or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Like any other job. And then put the rest of the money in an account, in a trust fund for them. So whenever they leave college and they do decide to go into the league, or they decide, at least there's money that they were able to make, you know, while
that they earned
rightfully, because they don't get money off their jersey. They don't get money off of anything. And then I think what really set me off was when a lot of these athletes recently were being told, well, now you can't monetize your social media channels. You can't be an influencer. You can't, like, what are you talking about?
Because now they're saying they do a, like in the music business, it's a 360
deal. And it's like,
on an athlete.
Yeah, and I thought that was just, that's just slavery to me at this point. Like, it's like, no, like, and most of the student athletes, most of the student athletes are athletes of color, right? So you've got a small percentage that are not. Now, then you got another step that you got women athletes, right?
Yeah.
Women athletes are already struggling. Women, period, are struggling to get notice of stuff. But women athletes, like, you know, they have to work even harder to get on the board for stuff. And then now you're telling them they can't be influencers? Like, come on. Like, I just think that's unfair. And, you know, we don't have as many opportunities when it comes to professional sports like men. We have way more now than we did when I was growing up.
Yeah.
Like, basketball was like, you had to go overseas. I had several friends who went overseas to play ball. I remember when I first moved to Florida, they were just launching, or they had just launched the WNBA.
Yeah.
Like, remember, I was like, yo, I'm going to go try out for the Miami team. I was so serious. But, you know, it's just now, like, women are starting to get more you know, ownership of it. Like, they're starting to get more brand partnerships. Like, you got these different female basketball players are starting to get their own shoes and stuff, like Maya Moore and stuff. So I think it's growing, but I think for student athletes, women right now, I think this is fire. Like, I would love to meet a student athlete right now and manage them. Why not?
You know,
do a whole bunch of brand partnerships. That'll be fire.
And it's funny because I remember watching a movie years before. John Singleton, rest in peace. He had put out a movie called Higher Learning.
Yeah.
And in the movie, I remember, and maybe that wasn't the movie, maybe it was in the program, but in one of these movies, it was Omar Epps, and he had fell to the floor, so maybe it was the program. But in the program, he got hit doing, you know, whatever, and it's a football movie, and his players came over to him, or the coach came over to him and said, "Hey, are you hurt or are you injured?" And he said, "What's the difference?" He said, "Well, if you're hurt, you can just get up. If you're injured, then you're over. You lose your scholarship and everything." He told him that on the field. And I was like, wow. And then you flip over the Higher Learning movie, and Omar Epps wasn't showing up to his practices. You know, he wasn't doing what he was supposed to do. So he went to go sign up for a class, and at the registrar's office, they was like, "Oh, so it says you only got half a scholarship." He said, "No, that's supposed to be paid in full. I'm a student athlete." He said, she said, "Well, go speak to your coach." He went and spoke to the coach.
Mr. Williams.
That was Lawrence Fisher. I was his teacher. The coach was like, "Yo, you got to show up. You got to show up. You got to work hard. This is why we brought you out here." And then he went back to his dorm room, and Ice Cube was there, and he was the woke student. And I remember he was like, "Oh, you're finding out how this world works.
Yeah.
You don't run, the school owns you. You don't run, you don't get paid." And then he said, "Run, hit or run." And that was the reference to the fact that this is just another process of your rights being taken away because you're having to do this thing. That's another form of slavery. And I remember listening to it like, man, that's a little extreme. You know, given the shadow of the benefit of the doubt, I should say, to the school and what they were doing, just watching the movie, because it was about other stuff. But as I've gotten more seasoned, I can now look back and see at this time, that is what he's talking about. You know, that movie came out, I don't know, it was in the 90s or whatever. To now, seeing the amalgamation of it, where now we're actually seeing some of these changes that were being mentioned then into now. And it's great.
And I think it's important. I think my only, like one of my fears, though, with this new rule is that, you know, they are being given the opportunity to make money, and now these kids are going to make some money. So do they finish school? Like, you know what I mean? This is really going to show the heart of, you know, so I think that's the only thing, is when you're talking to a 19-year-old and now they went from the hood in Philly to now, hey, we'll give you $3 million. You know, don't want to play basketball anymore, just make $3 million. I don't got to do nothing else. So I think, you know, hopefully they get some good people in their corners that can help them facilitate the money and stuff. But I mean, we have that problem even in major athletes that, you know,
you know, because I've said it before, right? If my son is going to college, I'm not like, you know, or my daughter, my girl Shun, if they're going to college, right, to pursue something or whatever, or even let's say they were an athlete before this new rule came out, and, you know, my son is real good his first freshman year of playing basketball. Yeah. Now he's getting recruited by the Chicago Bulls, and the NBA is looking at him. Do you, like, it's like a no-brainer for me. Am I going to let him stay in school, finish his college, or go pursue his you know, his career? And I think because there's so much money to be made on the other side, I would tell him, go do the career, to go jump into being in the NBA or whatever. Because if you blow your knee out, it's done. At least if you blow your knee out, Grant Hill blew his knee out. That dude's a millionaire.
He's still rich.
He's rich, you know, because it's guaranteed income. Yeah. You can always, like Shaquille O'Neal did, like Penny Hardaway, they went back, they finished their education, they did what they needed to do. But there's the other side of that, where we live in a society where we're told to go to school. This is the key to life. This is the formula. You go, key to life. You get your money pops back. You go, you get your bachelor's. Now that don't mean nothing, or doesn't mean as much as it used to. Now you got to get your master's. Not a master's. Education matters. The master's doesn't mean as much. You need the PhD. Like now, this it's like, you know, like what's her name from Insecure? She said, like, in African culture, when you get a bachelor's, it don't mean nothing.
Yeah, what? That's all you got. That's a high school diploma.
Exactly. You know, it's like nothing for them. You have to have a master's. You have to have a PhD. But while you're doing all those things, unless you're getting or taking advantage of these scholarships that are offered, you're accumulating all this debt. So when you finally do make it to this successful level, I know doctors that have so much student debt. They're living in houses and barely affording, You know, because now they're doctors and they're trying to live up to the whole doctor situation and look a certain way, but they're barely making it because of these student loans that they've accumulated. So there's a fine line between that as well. And I think we've talked about this with the kids, which we'll save for another session. Yeah. We're just raising them a little bit different, to be thinking a little bit different.
Yeah.
You know,
and I think the world is changing too. So it's not like, you know, I mean, when I was growing up and I knew I wanted to go to art school, I couldn't tell my mom that, hey, I'm going to go to art school. What?
Yeah.
You know, I've been saving this money for college. No, you're going to college.
And there weren't that many examples for you to be like, well, look,
none.
Here's the art school. This is somebody that went to art school. Yeah. This is what they did. This is how they're doing. And more than one, because everybody, you always have the one. It's like, what are the chances of you being Steve Jobs, you know, that left college and you know, created Apple? Like,
listen, my dad was like, get out of my house. Just make sure you're not pregnant. There's certain things I need to make sure are not happening. There's some statistics I need you to accomplish. Do not be pregnant when you're leaving my house. Do not be a drug addict.
There you go.
Go to college.
That's it.
I was the first one out. So I get it. You know, I just think, you know, those are the cultural things. But, you know, as the world changes, I think the perspective has to change too. Like, I think it would be unfair to put old expectations on the next generation when the world has changed. You know what I mean? Okay. But I think there's still certain things that that are being removed that I think are still beneficial to teach, you know, this generation. And so I think it's just a, you know, it's just a balance that we have to learn.
It's a balance, right? And we got to teach what they won't learn.
You know what I'm saying?
You know, in those situations.
Like teaching
we are the
our
teachers.
Kids real American history.
You know what I'm saying? Boom, boom.
Teaching them the
real. Risha, make sure there's an explosion on that part of it. So switching gears, going back to a little bit of fashion as I look down at your 750 Yeezys, right? I got some motorsport Jordan 4s on, you know what I'm saying? I am a sneaker enthusiast. I like sneakers to the point where I sneak them in. I snuck a conversation in about a sneaker that I had bought for myself without telling you about it. And remember, like when we first got married, I would be sneaking stuff in. I bought when those Yeezys came out.
Let me tell y'all,
those first Yeezys. Come on, man. And what's the music video? In love that comes around and it knocks you down.
I don't know.
You know what I'm talking about with Kanye West and homegirl?
Carrie Hilson.
Carrie Hilson. When those sneakers showed up on that music video, I lost my mind. Why? I had to have them.
First of all, sometimes I regret getting you on to. Well, you've always enjoyed sneakers, but I think I made the situation worse.
You made it worse
because I've been collecting sneakers. I've been collecting sneakers since I was 16, so I've had a sneaker collection for many of years. And Konata always he likes sneakers. He didn't have them like that. Like he would have a pair here, and then we got together, and it was just madness. Then we got married, and it was mad.
I think it was madness with the combination of that and doing rap and music. And
remember, we used to buy sneakers every Friday. Remember, because we used to get paid every other week. So like you got paid Friday and I got paid. So every Friday we were buying sneakers. I was like, this isn't. It's got to be sinful. It was madness. But it was just, you know, we had no kids. And then after we had a kid, we kept trying to do it to buy these sneakers. And I was like, hey, we don't have nowhere to put the baby. Like we got to move these sneakers somewhere. Remember? And we was like, what are we doing with this? But you took it to a whole nother situation. Like it was just extra. Like I enjoyed. Well, you have addictive behavior. I enjoyed sneakers. Like I wanted to be a sneaker designer. So like I studied sneakers. I worked at Lady Foot Locker. I used to study the books. I was like a sneaker nerd. Like I just knew, like I knew what kind of material they used. I knew what kind of bubble. Like I would dissect my sneakers just because I wanted to see what Air Maxes were made of. Konata just liked the colorways.
I just thought they were dope. I liked how they looked on you. Like I didn't need to know everything about them. So you're right. I didn't need to know the history behin them.
No, you just thought they were dope.
They were fresh, right?
But you were just over the top. Like you were just over the top
because I had not had an opportunity to buy my own sneakers.
You didn't grow up.
Right.
Just That's what it was. You didn't grow up being able to have sneakers, so now you got money, and so now you like OD City. I'm gonna just buy every pair of Jordans that I can.
Even when I was traveling, right? Because
and they made it worse.
It was before we got married.
But when we were performing, remember?
Yeah, but remember, before we got married, I was buying sneakers. Remember the first gift I ever bought you, other than the roses that you had for your birthday, was sneakers. I went to New York, came back with some New Balances for you.
He was trying to get at Shorty. He bought me some sneakers.
So when she told me stop, I'm gonna gas you, son.
Yo, relax.
And I was like, relax.
Let me tell you what this guy did. I'm changing your story.
Gosh.
So we're married. This is when I knew this thing got to stop. We're married. The new Yeezys come out, right? He asked me, could he buy the Yeezys? I said no.
Is that what happened?
Yeah, relax.
You did say no?
Yeah, I was like, nah, they're way too much money. I think at the time they were like $250 or $275 or something like that, right? I was like, no, just we're not in a place financially, blah, 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 blah.
That was
right?
a resale. Right?
So Konata decides to buy the sneakers, and I don't know, right? So I
saved up my little money, like to the side, which,
No. So it hit our bill, right? Yeah. Our debit card, our bank statement. So I pull up my bank statement and I see a quite a large purchase on the statement. I'm like, what is this? It was like $5 something. So I was like, what did we buy? There was like $500 or $600. Let me see the phone number. So I call and I ask what the purchase was. Oh yes, those were the Yeezys. Oh, can you tell me where they were sent to? Bull had them sent to his job so I wouldn't see them. He didn't buy one pair. He bought two. So remember you came home, I was lit. I was like on one. Like, how dare you? You lied. You were like, wait, let me explain. And you bought the first pair, flipped them within like 30 minutes or something for like twice or 3 times the amount. So you bought the second pair. And then I was like, okay.
And bought another pair.
And then being the entrepreneur I am, I said, all right, how we making this money? And that's what we did.
And that's what we did.
We started flipping kicks. It worked out.
It worked out. Especially
still
during Raymond Soul days.
Yeah, we was flipping kicks and we made some.
Yeah.
Problem is, he's the consumer. So if we would buy 3 pair of kicks to sell, Konata would keep 2. I feel like
I keep
one is to wear at home, one is to wear on stage. So, but yeah, that, we always flipped it to make it work. But you used to OD on the sneakers. So
I did.
You just wore some sneakers the other day that I was like, yo, those sneakers are kind of dope. Where'd you get them? And you kind of just got quiet. And I was like, wait a minute. You're like, oh, those are the sneakers I told you the story about. I was like, so you bought them? You're like, yeah, right before Father's Day.
Listen, sometimes you give yourself a gift, like, right? You get yourself a little gift, right? And we've done that, like in our relationship. You gotten yourself a gift. I can't remember.
Did you need a Father's Day gift?
Did I need a Father's Day gift?
Because I sure enough got you one heck of a gift.
You did. You did.
Yeah.
You did. You're right. But your thing is, right, like you're done buying me sneakers for gifts.
Yeah, I'm not buying
as much as I love them, you're done buying them because they're boring for you to have to buy them for me.
Because look at what I bought you for Father's Day. Way better.
Way better.
Way better than some sneakers.
Yeah, way better. It's an experience. But I still want my sneakers, right? So I'm going to just buy them myself.
But
not for Father's Day.
How big is your butt?
Anyways.
Now you can wear those sneakers to where you're going.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. I'm going to try to downplay.
It's all right. I'll let you get them. You can afford them now.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
Don't do it again. Can't wait to buy my sneakers.
Yes.
I haven't bought sneakers.
You know what's so crazy?
Go ahead.
So there are things that I like to splurge on. Actually, just one, period. I buy sneakers and I buy clothes or whatever, but my clothes are not going to be crazy. If I find some essentials piece or something on sale or something like that, but I'm not buying, I love you, Jerry Lorenzo, but I'm not buying a Fear of God pair of pants. I'm just not doing it. It's not happening. So I'm not going to spend that kind of money on, a pair of jeans. But I am going to spend that amount of money on like 5 pairs of sneakers over the course of a year. You know what I'm saying? And when I do put more sneakers in my closet, sneakers go out. I give them away.
You do.
I find people that need them, kids that wish they had J's. Boom. So that's what I love doing. And hopefully I can continue to do it as the Lord allows. My wife, on the other hand, when she spends money, it's not necessarily on this kind of stuff, but she might buy a camera that costs $3,000. She might buy a whole patio set that comes, and Amazon is knocking on the door every 5 minutes for 5 weeks straight with packages that they're dropping off. But it's stuff for the house, so she's able to say, hey, I'm investing in our home and, see all these things. I mean, and the cameras, even though she just loves cameras, she's investing in our business, and she's investing and look at her. And it's true. She's able to get the workaround. But when she does buy herself something, it is not no regular something. Okay? One day she came home with a pair of sneakers, and she was like, this is the first time she ever said this to me. Hey, I bought myself a pair of sneakers the other day. And they were a little expensive. And for her to say that out her mouth means they were a lot of expensive, not a little of expensive. And as it turns out, they were some really nice sneakers. Maybe she wants to share, maybe she doesn't matter. But so when she does spend, she doesn't do it often, but when she does, it's bang. There's some bang for that buck, So I hooked her up a few years ago. I didn't. Oh no, you got it right here. I hooked her up the other day, or a couple years ago. She wanted to buy a purse that she wanted to get on her own, so I got it for her, and that was wonderful. So sometimes it's cool to be able to buy yourself something. You treat yourself. You work hard. You treat yourself a little something.
I don't.
There's not no detriment to your bank account.
Yes, I think that's what it is. I think if you can afford it and you're not going to go in debt for it.
And you can still invest, you can still tithe, you can still make money for you, then you should be able to.
For me, like the stuff that I spend a lot of money on is I always look at how am I going to spend money to make money? Mm-hmm. That's always how I think. Like if I spend this $2,000, like what can I use this to make money on? And so any equipment, we invest in this because we don't only just use it for ourselves, we invest it for other people and stuff. Mm-hmm, so that to me is not a personal splurge. I look at that's for business. Anything in the house is just it's our house. This is where we live. We have people come over. So but me personally, it's very rare that I buy stuff for myself. Mm-hmm, I like jewelry.
Yes.
Which a lot of people don't know that about me.
Mm-hmm. And she likes some. You like the bling. You like some sparkle on your jewelry.
I like jewelry. I like watches.
You do like watches.
And so one day I was like, yo, there's a pair of sneakers that I really want. They're very low key. It's not sneakers that I'm gonna go make this huge announcement because I'm not that type of person anyway. Right. Mm-hmm. It's funny because we're in ministry, right? So I'm careful where I wear certain things too, just because I don't want people feeling like, I'm trying to communicate something I'm not. But there's just certain things that we like. And so, that day I said, man, I saved up money for this. Like if I didn't already have it in the account. But it was just something I needed to do. Mm-hmm. Like I needed to save my own. I don't know why I did it. It's silly because we just had the money. It was just like, just swipe. But it just felt for me. It was like,
absolutely.
I just felt like I needed to feel like I was intentional about saving the money for what I was wanting to buy. Mm-hmm. So there was these sneakers and it was a bag that I wanted. And so I felt good about it. I rarely ever do that for myself. So I went and I bought it. And then I came on, I was like, hey, I just want to let you know I made this purchase and it's very expensive. I will say, babe, I do appreciate like that you do let me, I think if I was like OD on stuff, you probably would have shut it down a long time ago. But I think you give me a good leeway or whatever.
Yeah.
But even that, like, tell them I'm frugal. Am I not frugal? I'm pretty frugal.
You're frugal.
Everyone knows that I'm pretty frugal. Like even my car, I negotiated the crap out of that car. I'm not pulling up and just paying what you telling me I'm paying.
Right.
The only way I'll do that is Tesla. Because they not, I don't care how great my negotiation skills. They can be like, no.
Leave.
Buy it or get out. So, yeah, Risha's going to get her Tesla first. And then,
you know what I'm saying?
And then, I don't need a Tesla right now. I'm waiting on Risha.
Waiting on Risha.
Hey, declare that jump.
Waiting on Risha. Waiting on Risha. Waiting on Risha. Hey, waiting on Rich. Well, I love talking to you, asking you questions about yourself.
That was good.
I didn't even need to talk.
I know. I got to do this. So the next one I got to interview.
Next one got to be, yeah. Cool. Hey, I love you.
I love you too, babe. This is fun.
What is something that you need me to do better other than hide sneakers from you? I do have another pair of sneakers coming in. Oh my God. Yeah, Jordans. They were on sale. Yeah, green.
So are you getting your sneakers that you're giving away together? Because that's the rule we have. That's the rule. If you buy something, you got to get rid of something. Listen, if you're a recipient of one of his shoes, you are lucky because he takes care of those sneakers like you wouldn't even know he wore them.
I get mad at you, right? When you beat your sneakers
so
up.
Yeah, like I wear my I just wear my junk. Like, you know, my Yeezys, he gets so mad. Like,
I'm getting into it now.
The only ones that I'm a little bit more careful with.
Say it.
Those. And even those the other day I noticed, I was like, yo, I haven't wiped these down. Like I should probably wipe them down. But then my other ones are my fear of gods, the black on blacks. Like those things are, I've been pretty careful with those, but lately I've been like just kind of wearing them, and I noticed a scuff on them the other day. I was like, oh, but you know, I wear my stuff. You know what I mean? Yeah. They're just sneakers.
And they're meant to be worn on the floor. I mean, and a lot of sneakers. I'm learning this now that when your sneakers tell a nice story and they still look kind of good, but they still look a little old at the same time, those are like the best. And that's why I'm so into the Jordan 1s, because I wear them because I'm looking forward to the creases in them and so on and so forth, so they look a certain way. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Anyways,
I love it.
I love you. What do you need me to do this week to communicate the action of love?
What I need you to do, I think this should be the week that you shut the TV off. Oh, and we just hang.
We just hang all week?
Yeah.
Okay.
And we got some stuff we got to pray about.
We do.
I think we got to shut the TV off.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That's a sacrifice for me.
I know.
You know what I'm saying? I'm watching The Servant. Okay. Leave it alone. Let's say that for another one. Okay, so my wife.
No,
okay,
come on, we passed time. Come on,
you about to. We passed time.
Look, now they want to know. Next one.
Next one. Go watch the preview and you'll be like,
no, don't watch the preview.
World this guy
I am not
this?
Condoning that at all.
Okay.
At all.
At all. Look, you're getting real serious right now.
I'm not condoning that at all.
It's not that bad. All right, so what I want you to do for me, okay, stop sweating me. That's what I want you to do. Stop sweating me.
Stop sweating, okay.
No, let me think. What I want you to do? Wash my drawers, girl, no. What do I want you to do? I always have a hard time with this part. Like, what do I want you to do?
It's because I'm good to you, baby.
Let's call the guy to get the house painted.
Let's go.
Boom.
You want me to do that?
I want you to do that.
Okay.
I want us to do it. I want us to have accountability.
Because you may communicate that you want the house red.
Yeah. Oh, anyways, you are now
rocking with the best.
At Our Small World podcast. We'll see you next week.
Yo, thanks for joining us. This was fun. I love you.
Love you too, baby.
Peace. Have a good week.
Tell 'em we okay.